Like today, our event for the Rahm Foundation, we incorporate that in with Root and DRC Ventures to really like give back. So the fashion line was really launched to collab with other designers like you. Hi, this is Christina Rahm. It's Laura Citron. Am I correct?
You got it.
And you're a designer.
I am.
Because you guys were in the Hamptons.
That's right.
Yeah.
We showed with you in the Hamptons, which was such a serendipitous meeting up of Nashville and New York.
It was. Well, I think we were working with Dee. Do you guys work with Dee?
That was our first time.
Yeah.
But I'd love to work with her again. It was such a great event.
Nice. We didn't do, I don't think we did Hamptons Fashion Week. I don't know. Have they had it yet?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's in August or September. We're doing New York on runway, the main runway.
How exciting.
Yeah, we did it last year. We partnered at first with Burberry, but we ended up getting put with Lafayette because Burberry was having issues with their store. But really, we just raised money for like sustainable projects and animals and people because like today, our event for the Rahm Foundation, we incorporate that in with Root and DRC Ventures to really like give back because we're in 80 countries. So the fashion line was really launched to collab with other designers like you and use our fabric. So we basically do collaborations. We take their clothes, then we put our some of our they're my formulas that I try to design to protect the body. And you can't completely protect it. So we have a skincare line that does it. We'll have to send you guys some of the products.
Love that.
Yeah, we have a skin defense and we have Environ. And when we launched the clothing line, people were like, because I did some patents to get rid of nuclear waste and to help regenerate the hair, skin, and body and to reverse aging. So we kind of, I tried to incorporate that into a skincare line and a clothing line, but people get confused because they're like, but the clothes aren't protecting my whole body. And I'm like, I know, our goal is to protect, kind of like sunscreen, as much as possible. Clothing protects you anyway.
It does.
But the issue is some of the clothes, I really try to use refurbished or sustainable because if you keep generating new clothes, it hurts the environment. But if you encourage people to take them to thrift shops or vintage stores, and that's what we're doing here. We're trying to show, when I look at the clothes downstairs, I'm like, I like every piece of this, but it's nice to share it too. And at the same time, help other people. So I think the Hamptons was a good start for us in New York, but we're trying to kind of incorporate that everywhere. So it's neat that we're both from Nashville.
I know. And you are totally fighting the good fight. The fashion industry has such a terrible reputation as being one of the world's leading polluters. So to have someone come in and do something positive and sustainable and also sort of revolutionary. I haven't heard of anyone doing, what you're doing in fashion. It's pretty inspiring.
Well, thank you. I spoke at Milan at Fashion Week on sustainability, and you actually have like Dior and Chanel and Prada. They're really hiring I'm not a designer really. I'm a fashion engineer because I'm a bioscience engineer, and so people mistake me for being a designer. And I'm like, no, I leave that to other designers. But we do showcase different things that designers like you make. So I'd love to do some kind of collaboration with you all.
Oh, we'd love that.
And our motive is really to get people excited about how it looks, like your beautiful dress, and also teach them that we can do things together that impact the world in a positive way. Because you don't want to get rid of clothes. There's a lot of clothes, but you want to either give them away or share them or do causes like we're doing. And then try to basically what someone else throws away. And there's nothing downstairs I wouldn't wear tomorrow, right?
Yes.
But what someone else wants to give you or share, that's better for us rather than just using new materials constant. So now you know this. We can redo cotton. We can reuse silks and satins and make all kinds of things with it. Yeah.
It's amazing. And just, I love that the consciousness around wearing clothing is changing in general. We used to wear one piece and you couldn't be photographed in it again. Celebrities to royalty.
We still have that issue, I'm going to tell you. I have to tell you, we're still fighting it because for us, when we do magazine covers or articles, they want new clothes. But thankfully, we have an amazing photographer and creative director, and she can change some of that out and make me look different. So Joy's been fantastic about that because it's you're right. The problem is like the media and PR, and I'm very thankful for media and PR, but they want something new. And the issue is if I like a piece of clothing, I might wear it 100 times, right? I found,
Same.
what did I find the other day that I had, oh, it's out there. It's a Nanette Lepore outfit
Love her.
that's 30 years old.
Oh
Can
my
you
gosh.
imagine? I'm like, am I that old? But I had it before I had my son Duquesne. And I found it when I was going through the clothes.
That's incredible.
Because I loved the piece, I kept it. It was actually it's a beautiful piece. It's a skirt or outfit and a like camisole.
You know,
So see how you can like.
It's funny you should say that because, I grew up with a single mother, very hardworking, who didn't have all the money in the world, but splurged on important occasions.
Yeah.
And fashion was always important.
Yeah.
And when I was on homecoming court in high school, all the girls went to, Dillard's or Macy's, and she took me to this little boutique and bought a Nanette Lepore dress with a little coat, and I still have it and I still wear it.
I want to go back and get my outfit because I'm thinking I shouldn't give that away when it's like 30 years old. But I have to tell you, when I got that, it's so funny you said that because I went to a little boutique in Mobile, Alabama.
This was in New Orleans.
And I remember thinking, this is so expensive.
Yes.
It's so different. It's worth it.
It was so different.
It was so different.
Yes.
But I was literally like, I would look at it in my closet. I know this sounds vain, but I would be like, that's so beautiful.
No, we
fabric.
appreciate beauty.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's so great we share that story.
I love
That's interesting.
it.
So did you grow up in New Orleans?
In Louisiana, in Lafayette.
Oh, that's why you have such great clothes.
Oh, thank you.
I lived in Mobile for 12 years.
Did you?
The original Mardi Gras.
Yes, I know.
I always
know.
tease people from New Orleans. I'm like, we had the original Mardi Gras.
We did it first. I've always wanted to do Mobile Mardi Gras. I've heard
fun.
so much about it.
You get like 10 days off work. I mean, it's like 2 weeks.
Oh,
and
it's
I
a
loved
holiday.
it. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And we were actually members of the Athelstan Club. We were really involved in it. To be honest. I loved it.
So fun.
So much fun. And the Mardi Gras societies raise money for good causes too. People don't realize that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit more about you.
Sure. Well, that's a great segue from
Yeah.
Louisiana because growing up, my mother kept all of her 70s jumpsuits and 80s Mardi Gras ball gowns. And
Oh,
for
wow.
fun, I
That's
would go
awesome.
into her closet and just play dress up. I would
Yeah.
invite my friends over, put on these little fashion shows without knowing it. And I just thought, this is such an exciting, special world.
Yeah.
I want more of this.
Yeah.
And so not really seeing a lot of fashion in Louisiana growing up, I didn't know that I could make a career out of it.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
wanted
they
to-
did have fashion, but you're right, for like Mardi Gras ball gowns and stuff like that.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
They
right.
didn't really have the other, like LA and New York. And yeah.
So I did journalism, broadcast journalism, with a minor in textile and apparel. And I had a cousin who was a producer in Los Angeles at the time. He said, come out and see if you like the entertainment side of broadcast. Ended up working with the Tyra Banks show and finding the wardrobe department.
Oh, that's awesome.
And seeing that a career in fashion was absolutely viable and possible. And that was
That's
my first aha moment.
So you were involved in that show.
Mm-hmm.
Was that? You must have loved that.
I did.
She's so beautiful.
She is. The clothes were
Is she
just,
kind?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a stressful job.
It's a
so-
stress. Well, so I think I'm kind, but when you run companies, you expect people to get things done, and there's really no. I know this sounds bad. Like I always want everyone to have fun, but it's a lot of work.
It's
so
a
you
lot
have
of
to
work.
work while you're having fun.
And
yeah.
I think if you're successful, you have to be a perfectionist
Yeah, you
because
do.
you expect everyone to work as hard as you're working. So
Yeah, it's hard.
I respect her.
Yeah.
I looked up to her for sure.
But you got a good start, and then you took that to a fashion line.
So I immediately transferred to FIT in New York, studied fashion
Oh
there.
my gosh, you need to meet Lindsay. She's here. She wants to go to FIT.
Oh my goodness.
And she is the director of the Mercy Dupree line.
Oh, really?
So I would love to introduce you. She is a fabulous person. I would give her 100% of a recommendation. So anyway, I'd love to introduce you too.
Absolutely. Yes. And then
That's a great school, by the way. My daughter toured that school, so I went through it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty special. And then I did a few different roles in fashion, trying to find my place, from trend forecasting to styling to managing a beautiful designer vintage store. And then we were getting a little burnt out. So everyone was talking about Nashville 10 years ago, and just made the jump, moved there. And I was able to open up my own vintage store, a dream of mine, which was fantastic for a few years.
Is it open now?
it started getting harder and harder to source quality vintage.
You know, I love going to vintage stores.
I can tell.
It's like my thing. Yeah.
Even your home, you have so many beautiful antiques.
A lot of it's antiques. Yeah. A lot of my clothes, like even the Chanel or Dior, like they're vintage pieces. I just like to source those. It's so much fun.
And you find details that you don't see anymore that sort of get lost with decades, right?
Yeah, you do. You see it and then you're like, gosh, that's beautiful. I just went to, I was in Italy and I went to a 1930s party.
Oh my gosh.
And I wore, so talking about Mardi Gras, I'm getting off topic, so I know they're going to make me wrap up. But I had, you know how you go to Mardi Gras balls and you have to have the gloves? Yes. So I had this weirdest experience at one of the Mardi Gras balls. I went with this doctor. I was still in college. And we were in the limousine. And he started taking my gloves off with his teeth. And I said to my mom that night, I called her. I was so upset. I was like, what is he doing? And I was like, please don't touch my fingers. And I was like, that's the last time I'll wear gloves. So I have not worn gloves, like the long ones, until I went to Italy.
You were traumatized.
I was traumatized. So I found these gloves in Slovenia, and they were Valentino. They were old, beautiful, and I wore them. But it was the same thing, the texture. And I don't know if you know this, the etiquette around the gloves. So you can wear your jewelry outside of the gloves.
Okay.
But you're really supposed to take them off when you're eating. So I'm like, how am I supposed to have these long gloves? My jewelry, my bracelets were all, my husband put them outside the gloves. Then we go eat, and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't practical. And so
what do you know?
I just took them all off. I was like, I'm done with gloves forever.
That was my brief love affair.
Did you wear the gloves when you went to the Mardi Gras? Do you remember?
I don't
Some
think
people
I
do and some people don't. I
did.
always used to. I don't, of course, now.
And now I want to do it again with gloves. But make sure no one...
So do you have a store here? Or tell us where we can find you, because I want everyone to be able to find your clothes. And I want to meet with you and talk about how we can bring some of your pieces into our fashion shows. Yeah.
So basically, I transformed it from a vintage store to a vintage-inspired collection.
Oh, wow.
That's where that came from. And so now we cater to a lot of the music industry here. A lot of it is shiny and sparkly, so it looks great on stage, but also anyone who just loves to look like a peacock. So my partner has a brick and mortar store in Music Row called Any Old Iron. And
oh my gosh, I know I have clothes in here. Joy, that outfit that Lisa Kreitz, that's where I got that. Yeah. I have, because you guys have so like, he used to like rock star t-shirts.
Yes. Yep.
And like the jackets and I have. So I have those because I saw, I went to that store with my daughter. I didn't know that was your store. That's awesome.
So that's my boyfriend's store. Yeah. And he had a store in New York. And then we moved it to Nashville. And I saw my collection in there too, Laura Citron. So come check out both of our pieces.
We will check them out. They're telling me to wrap it up, but I'm going to check out your store.
Please do.
And I'm going to send you some of our products so that we can have it, and we'll have you back on our podcast. But I do want to talk to you about our fashion shows. Like, we've even been in India. We're getting ready to do a fashion show at some point in Saudi Arabia.
We manufacture in India. We're there twice a year.
We are there a lot. Well, actually, I've been there 3 times, I think, this year. It's hard to go to India, to be honest. I love India. Mm-hmm. Our company's there, but it's a long time to get there.
It sure is. It's hard on the body.
Are you drinking the tequila?
Yes, ma'am.
From Ivy? She was just up here.
From your lovely bartender who put your tincture in it and was teaching me all about it.
Yes.
This is something I need.
And believe me, it's really helpful. I have the patents on it. To help metabolize alcohol.
Okay, where can I find this?
We can send you some, and then you can buy it at the Root Brands. That's our major place that sells our products.
Okay.
Some of the stuff you can get online, but really we direct people there because we're in 80 countries. And it's my husband's company, so I kind of love him. And I'm the scientist behind everything, and I like myself a little bit and love him, so we have the products there.
Y'all are amazing. What a rock star couple.
Oh, well, he would love to hear that. We're not a rock star couple, but we try. We work hard.
You're doing great work.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you. I enjoyed it.
So good to meet you, Christina.